My name is Olga Karach and I am a peace builder and human rights defender from Belarus. I want to discuss our idea of a peace line, which could become a non-violent barrier against the war in Eastern Europe, as well as a civil and transnational strategy to demilitarize the region affected by the war against Ukraine. While the war and the arms race push Eastern Europe to the brink and endanger the whole planet, the forward-looking proposal Peace Line sets out a human-centered, sustainable path where security is measured not by tanks and missiles, but by human rights, dignity, dialogue, mutual respect and cooperation. A different kind of future is possible, and it starts with the peace line. In the burning heart of Eastern Europe, amid the visible and invisible ruins of war, forced migration, economic crisis and deep mistrust, a radical, much-needed proposal is born: the peace line. It's not a wall or a border. It's a demilitarized zone of up to 100 kilometers wide between Russia on one side and Ukraine, Belarus and the Baltic states on the other. It's a zone that rejects the logic of war and turns a line of fire and killings into a corridor of humanity. Shaped by a clear and unsparing look at today's reality, which involves rising militarization, erosion of human rights, disinformation, repression, mutual attacks, and fear. The strategy of the peace line aims to rebuild a security architecture based not on nuclear deterrence, but on civic cooperation, justice, and reconciliation. There are three pillars that can help us step back from the abyss. Pillar number one: demilitarize so we can breathe. The first step is concrete and ambitious. Dismantle the frontline mentality. Withdraw troops. Remove nuclear warheads. Close foreign military bases. Create a peace tax. That is, reinvest 10% of the military budget into environmental recovery, protection of the most vulnerable, and cultural and psychological healing from war, wounds and trauma. No shows of force, no military parades, only care, repair, attention and healing. We need broad support for conscientious objectors and deserters. Help our men not to join the warfare. Today, there are already about 100,000 officially recorded deserters from Russia, Ukraine and Belarus combined. And they form an invisible force, an army of peace that refuses the war. Pillar number two: build a culture of peace, not of paranoia, hate and hostility. Every war begins in minds and hearts. The peace line is not only a place on the map, it's a project of cultural transformation. We should shift from an enemy culture to a culture of dignity, from conciliation to dialogue, from revenge to reconciliation. On the front line of this work are activists, peace movements, faith communities, human rights groups, women, artists, trade unions and diasporas, who together are forming a new approach, organized empathy. We need support for the Peace House in Vilnius, where children of the warring sides, Russian, Ukrainians and Belarusians, play together and become friends, and where their mothers meet to discuss an anti-war agenda and their struggle for peace. We need a safe and secure space to show that peace is possible, even between those whose nations are fighting each other today. Pillar number three: Talk to each other instead of killing each other. The third pillar is renewed diplomacy. New negotiating mechanisms from a refreshed Helsinki 50 Plus that includes civil society and governments in joint decision making to an international working group WG9 for planning multilateral disarmament. Above all, we call on the United Nations to convene a standing special session on peace in Eastern Europe. No vetoes, no exclusions, with the UN Charter as both as a shield and a compass. Some may say it's utopia. We answer no, it's a strategy. If you are willing to see how it works in real life, we have passed to Andrea several ideas that can be implemented right away. We are standing at a historic crossroads. Either we let the spiral of militarism pull us towards new disasters and, ultimately, a nuclear war, or we design and build a different idea of security, not based on threats but on good neighborliness, not on force but on trust, not on I win but on we live together as good neighbors. The peace line is not a naive dream. It's a clear, concrete and urgently needed vision. Because the choice is not to win or lose the war. The choice is to destroy the world or to restore our common humanity and survive. Please help us. Let's act together.